Alright guys, so today I wanted to go over elemental damage and how effective it can be, and today we're using the Demon Hunter, the cluster arrow with loaded for bear. This turns weapon damage into 770% damage as fire. Now this is, pretty strong spell. You saw it in the Demon Hunter build that I'm using. There are some other builds, but perhaps some of the gear that you've been picking up has the increased damage. Perhaps some of the, skills you've been running, you want to change things up a little bit. It just kind of depends on, what you're running, what your play style is, and what you want to do. But in this case, the fire damage, I've got these gloves here. They've got 19% increased fire damage. I picked these up at 66. They had pretty good roll for the level, so I'm very happy with those. Those stay around. These were another item that I picked up early on. I rolled these as fire damage. Good stats there. An extra 18%. This I actually picked up yesterday. A clan member, this drop for him. He didn't need it, and of course I needed it. Definitely needed to upgrade my amulet. It's a great one. This has 18% increased fire skill damage. Got all the other stats there. I'm even running the boots. This is one where you can increase damage from one of your skills, and in this case, I got a good roll of 15% for the cluster arrow damage. And the crown jewel of the build at the moment, the roll on this was pretty terrible in terms of stats, and didn't come with any sockets. I've rolled those too, and it's very expensive to roll on this. The extra 16% fire damage is of course nice, but the secondary stat reduces the resource cost of fire skills by 30%. This is great. I know that you can do the math. I know you can kind of figure this out. You're going to get a lot more, shots off with this. But I wanted to go over this real quick while we're in the video so that, maybe you see a Cindercoat drop. Maybe it sucks. Maybe it doesn't have very good stats. Maybe it was like mine. But you're thinking, all right, well, wait a minute now. Maybe I should hold on to this. Maybe I don't need that Forgotten Soul. Maybe I shouldn't trade this off to, somebody in the group. And we're going to do this right now. This costs 40 hatred. 150 hatred, so you're looking at that, and I have no points in right now. If you want to put resource cost reduction, that's a good place to put it if you don't need the life on hit. But I've got 150 hatred. We're going to see the effectiveness with this, and I believe we're going to get 11 shots here, and we'll kind of count them out. I'm going to use preparation, and then I'm going to use the companion skill with the bat to get the extra hatred back. And because this does so much damage, I really like these two in conjunction. I know a lot of people use the the wolf there to get the extra damage. I really love this as a passive, especially when I'm trying to get a bunch of shots off, because it's critting for a lot of damage. Maybe there's some effectiveness, maybe there's some math out there that somebody can do, but your running group, I really, I still like the bat companion there, especially when you're using this build. So we'll go ahead and pop off the shots. 6 full shots, 3 shots, and another 2 shots. So we got 11 shots there, and we're going to do this taking the Cindercoat off. And in the meantime, while that's cooling down right there, one of the other things I looked at, I was running around my base damage here, 769,000. Pretty good. I've been farming some gear. It definitely can be better, but I've been spending a lot of time building this guy up. One of the things that I looked at, fire damage versus, say, white damage. This is, your basic attacks. I'm only going to be using Tangling Shot so much, especially with the Cindercoat, and the Hatred builders there. But I can equip this. This has the trifecta on it. I was able to roll, and it's actually a pretty good roll. The dexterity is a little low, but all the other stats are pretty high. Now, my damage goes from 770,000 to 865,000. Almost 100,000 more, effective, or not effective damage, but white damage there. However, the effective damage, when I was running around, was considerably lower. I don't want to say considerably, but it was a noticeable amount lower. And I was running, I did a lot of experimenting this weekend, swapping gear in and out, swapping bracers out, swapping gloves out, stuff that actually increased damage here, but effective damage wasn't that much higher, and I think that's the effectiveness of the fire skills. So that's another thing I wanted to stress. So that's one thing to keep in mind when you're gearing up. Maybe you're missing a stat. Maybe you don't have the increased attack speed. Maybe you don't have the highest crit hit damage, but it's got the extra elemental damage. I think this goes across the board for all classes. Now, I think that you can look at that, build it up. be able to get, you know, a little bit more damage by keeping an eye on the gear. It might not look very good at first, but you roll something and next thing you know, that's a pretty good piece of gear. So it's just something to keep in mind when you're out there farming, looking for that elemental damage. And I think that's the main topic of this video, is to kind of keep an eye on that gear. If you can find that, you know, the boots that's got the increased damage to your main skill, other, you know, items that have that the elemental damage. I would love to get an Andariel's Visage to give that a shot to see how that works. Gonna continue looking for that. But back to the Cindercoat here. Without the Cindercoat, with the Cindercoat we got 11 shots. Without it, 4 full shots, 2 shots, and 1.5, and we got that up there. So we got 7 shots. Yes, you can do the math. Yes, you can figure that out. But over the course of, you know, a 15-minute game, a 20-minute run, you know, maybe you're running rifts, maybe you're running bounties. That's a lot more shots, and that's a lot more damage. And this kind of goes across the board for all torment levels. You're going to shoot this a lot. And that's why I still like the Bat Companion. The damage is high, especially with the fire increase. So it's just something to keep an eye on when you're looking for gear, something to keep an eye on when you're considering builds. This is not the end-all, you know, build. There's other builds out there that are quite effective, other stuff that's built for survival. I've used this all the way up, you know, Torment 1, Torment 2, Torment 3. This is an effective build. I've got another video which you'll see in the comments. It's a Tier 6 Hell Rift run. You know, you get 65 million experience. We run that. I go in there. You know, stuff has hundreds of millions of health, and, you know, we're able to knock it down. So it's something to keep in mind when you're looking for gear. So we're going to do a little bit of gameplay to kind of see how this works. We'll go ahead and hop in the Cathedral here. And we're running on Torment 1, which I'm a little over-geared for, but I kind of wanted you guys to see the crit numbers, see how effective this can be. If you've already, you know, done this, if you've got some ideas, if you got, you know, maybe a little bit more information, maybe there's a post out there that can kind of fill in a little bit of gaps. I'm definitely looking for more information. As you can see, there's 18 million crits there. This guy will die really, really fast with some crits. The extra grenades that pop off there hitting for 3 million. I mean, this is, you know, really, really big damage. There's almost a 4 million crit on a secondary grenade. And you know, there's a couple that pop off with each shot. So those are things to look for, guys. If you like the build, there's a link in the in the description below to the actual build. That's got a little bit of description down there. It's one I didn't have near as much gear, so it's actually quite comical, the difference in how fast I kill things now. A little bit of farming goes a long way, guys. I know sometimes it can be frustrating, but keep an eye out for that gear. Keep an eye out for that fire damage. If you see a Cindercoat that has really crappy stats like mine, hold on to it. Try and roll something decent. Make it worth your while. Give it a shot before you salvage it. Turn it into a Forgotten Soul. You might not need it at the time. Feel free to give it a shot. If you got any other links to some builds, I definitely like looking at them. I've gotten a lot of good feedback in the other videos. I definitely appreciate all the feedback you guys have been leaving. If you got any hints or tips that kind of help other people out, those are always appreciated. I'm not going to say I know anything or know everything, but I know enough to get by. I know that this is a good build. It's a fun build. It's fun to run around. It's fun to blow stuff up. The more damage you do, the better. So we all like that. So anyways, guys, if you like the video, go ahead and hit the like button below. I definitely appreciate that. If you got any questions, comments, go ahead and leave those below as well. Until then, happy hunting, and if you want to stick around for some more gameplay, we're going to do that now. And thanks for watching, guys.
Look out! When the sun rises, I wake up and chase my dreams. I won't regret when the sun sets, 'cause I live my life like I'm a beast. I'm a motherfucking 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 beast. When the sun rises, I wake up and chase my dreams. I won't regret when the sun sets, 'cause I live my life like I'm a beast. I control my breath. keep my body ready. Focus on the finish and keep my hands steady. Breathe in, breathe out, breathe in. Watch out, I'm a motherfucking beast. I'm a motherfucking beast. I'm a motherfucking beast. You know what, bro? 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 I'm a beast.
Picture me climbing, tooth and nail till I'm at the top. Jump without a net, never break a sweat, cause I live my life like it's all I got.
I'll never flinch, I'll never close my eyes. Have you ever seen a beast show?